Well, hopefully you're feeling jolly around this time of the year because it is Christmas time. By the time this video comes out, Christmas will be 3 days from now, so that's pretty exciting. But people like to have a debate or a conversation around the holiday season about what type or what is the best Christmas movie to ever be released. People go out and look at Christmas lights, they look at Christmas songs, and they watch Christmas movies. And the movie that comes up in that debate a lot of the best Christmas movie of all time is Home Alone or Home Alone 2, just depending on who you are. But, you know, I know people throw in The Grinch or whatever, or Family Vacation, or you know what I'm talking about. But for argument's sake, I think the majority of people see Home Alone as one of, if not the best Christmas movie of all time. Home Alone 2, of course, being another popular one. The original Home Alone movie came out in 1990. Home Alone 2 came out in 1992. And to me, while they aren't perfect movies by any case, they're made in, they're 90s movies, they're silly kids movies. There's still, there's a reason that they stuck around for as long as they did. The comedy aspect, of course, with the traps is extremely funny. But I think that they get the lightheartedness in the innocence of Christmas done very well, and that's a tribute to Macaulay Culkin. It's just a good time. It's a good time, and I think that the way they did it with Macaulay Culkin and Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern and Catherine O'Hara, they all did a really good job at making a very family-friendly, fun Christmas movie with extremely funny slapstick comedy. And it was a formula that they were able to translate into the second Home Alone, but not into the Home Alone movies that were to follow. In 1997, they made Home Alone 3. In 2002, they made Home Alone 4. 2012, they made Home Alone The Holiday something. And in 2021, they released Home Sweet Home Alone. Now, every movie after Home Alone 2 was an absolute failure. Scarlett Johansson, I believe, is in the third one. But the reason that they were failures was because the original cast weren't in them. Home Alone 3, 4, 5, and Home Sweet Home Alone, or whatever you want to call it, tried to replicate the success of the originals by being Christmas movies with slapstick comedy. But I think that they missed out on why the originals were so successful in the first place. And I understand there's only so much that you can do with Christmas slapstick humor. After a while, it could probably run its course. But the reason why Home Alone was never going to be successful after the second one was because Macaulay Culkin wasn't in it and Joe Pesci wasn't in it. And it was like a reboot, and you're just trying to cash in on something. And the only way that you were going to get people back was if you made a third one with that original cast. Now, the third one with the original cast was never made for, I think Macaulay Culkin just didn't want to do it. I don't really know the full story, but they never really returned to it because I believe Macaulay Culkin didn't return to acting. Joe Pesci went on to do different things. Daniel Stern went on to do different things, and it never got done. That makes a lot of sense. But Macaulay Culkin has been in the news a lot recently. One, because he got his Hollywood Star Walk of Fame, and everybody loves to see that. But also, a fake trailer for Home Alone 3, Kevin's Revenge, came out, and that has gotten a lot of hype behind the idea of a potential Home Alone 3 movie. Joe Pesci was interviewed, and they asked if Home Alone 3 were to happen, would you come back? And Joe Pesci said, never say never. It's a ridiculous concept because this came out over 30 years ago. But a Home Alone 3 could be something that you could actually do. But you have to do it in the right way. You can't do it just because you're grabbing money. And a lot of these return to classic movies. A lot of the times what they try to do is they just try to steal what was, what made it special in the first place, or try to, or replicate it, or remake it in some way to, get money off the name and just really, milk that cow until it's dead and fucking dry. But I think you can also make a sequel to a very loved old movie if you do it for the right reasons, and that's to make it for the fans. I'm not going to call mine Home Alone 3 Kevin's Revenge unless you wanted to, but I think Home Alone 3 can be considered because everybody likes to see Macaulay Culkin back in a comeback role. This is how I would do it. So first things first, you're bringing back the original cast. I mean, you're bringing back Macaulay Culkin, you're bringing back Joe Pesci, you're bringing back Daniel Stern, you're bringing back the trio. And yes, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern are going to get attacked and beat up quite a bit in this film. And I understand that might look bad that you're just beating up 80-year-old men. But I can't imagine a world where you do this without them. Maybe they have an apprentice. Maybe you bring in another popular actor to kind of help them out, and maybe that person takes some of the brunt. But I think Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern as Harry and Marv got to be in this, and they got to go toe-to-toe with Kevin. I originally thought of a way that you could do this where it was like maybe Macaulay Culkin's kid goes up against Joe and Daniel, or Harry and Marv. But I think the best way you have to do this is Kevin Culkin, or Macaulay Culkin's Kevin, goes up against Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern again, and I think that would be incredible. Yes, it's very dumb. It's super stupid, and I get it, and I understand it. It's a 50-year-old man or a 40-year-old man beating up 80-year-olds by laying traps and throwing wrenches at them. I don't care, and I don't think anyone else is going to care about it either. If you bring back that cast and you come up with some really good traps, and you focus on the narrative of Christmas, and you focus on the feelings of family and Christmas, and you have other themes and you have other plots to drive the people in, not just, hey, we're throwing traps at people or bringing back the original cast because of that. No, I think you have to do something else with this as well. To show, hey, you're trying to make an actual movie here. You're not trying to rip people off. Anyways, this movie's going to take place around the same time frame in real life that it would. Kevin McAllister is a father now. He has a son of his own. He is married. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, Marv's and Harry, they are old, and they are in jail. It's around the Christmas time, and Kevin McAllister, like a lot of dads in these Christmas movies, is working his tail off. They're not exactly a super rich family, and he is really tied into work, trying to raise as much money as he possibly can to maybe buy his kids Christmas presents or buy something or whatever it is. He is extremely tied into work over the holiday season, and he just can't get out of it. Now, I think you have to bring in Kevin's family as well, but they're not going to be a main driving point in this movie. The family from the originals, like Catherine O'Hara, Kate McAllister, the McAllister family, Buzz, you know what I'm saying? But I think they can have some cameo appearances because Kevin's wife and kid, they had a plan to go visit Kate and the whole family. They plan to visit the whole family. Maybe Kevin now lives a couple states over or whatever it is. So the plan is that Kevin and his family were going to go visit the rest of the McAllister family for the Christmas time, and they were super excited about it. Kevin's kids absolutely love his son or daughter, whatever you want to do. Absolutely love his grandma and grandpa, her grandma and grandfather, and that side of the family, and they just don't want to miss out. But Kevin, because he's so tied into work, just absolutely cannot go to the family gathering for Christmas. And you get your stereotypical, you get your your hook. A very bitter moment as Kevin gets left at home so he can continue his work, and Kevin's spouse and kid go travel to go see the McAllisters. Now, of course, Kevin just feels terrible about this, and as he's left in this house by himself working, as time passes, and he doesn't want to work. He's sick of his job. He maybe starts to realize what he's missing here. His family's not getting any younger. His kids aren't getting any younger. And he's sacrificing family time, and he realizes that, but he just can't do anything about it. Now, at the same time, it was Harry, right? Yeah. Marv and Harry, have just gotten out on jail, on parole, or they've served their time, whatever you want to say. And Harry just can't let this shit go. He has been stuck in prison with Marv for 40 years, and he wants to put Kevin down. I mean, he wants to make Kevin pay, and he has held on to this grudge for 40 long years. Harry has the great idea to call up his nephew, maybe, or something like that, another criminal in the family. You can have it played by whoever you want. You can have it played by a popular actor. I would say like a Chris Evans or a Ryan Reynolds or a John Krasinski or whatever you want to do. Regardless, Harry calls up his nephew, maybe. And they were able to track down where Kevin is, and they decide that they're going to go after Kevin. So fast forward in the movie, you throw some plot points in there with Kevin's family meeting up with the McAllisters, and how disappointed and upset they were. Maybe Kevin's mom calls Kevin. Kevin's like, listen, Mom, I apologize. It just can't be helped. I'm sorry, whatever. At some point in the movie, Marv and Harry catch Kevin while he's going out to eat or something, or Kevin notices them from afar outside their house or trying to break into his house or whatever. And it looks like it's going to pan in, and Kevin's going to be like, and it's going to look like he's going to like set up all the traps and get ready to go. Instead, he calls the police. Now nothing comes of it, of course, because we want to get to the part where Kevin's, once he's going to set up traps and he's going to attack the old people. Kevin decides he's going to take matters into his own hands, and he's going to set up the traps. The traps are going to be versus Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, or Harry and Marv and the nephew. They're going to have a little back and forth for about 20 minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Everyone's going to love it. Maybe Kevin's whole family shows up, and Kevin and his kid let off a trap together. Maybe like the McAllister family, like, all right, if Kevin's not going to come to us, we're going to go to him, and that's how they all get back. And I think it would be cool if, like, over the years, Kevin's like an engineer or something, and he has like a notebook full of potential traps and things that he's thought of or something, like he's fucking John Kramer from Saw or something like that, but not like a serial killer way. Like maybe it was just like his original like write-ups, like he kept the notebooks. Or he like wrote down sketches, and he kept it, and his kid found it, and his kid's like super interested in it and asked Kevin about it, and Kevin's like, oh, you don't want to know about that, that's ancient history. But the kid wants to bond with Kevin, and Kevin can't because he's working. And maybe by the end of the movie, to catch all the bad guys, they set off one trap together, and the McAllisters are all gathered around Harry and Marv and the nephew or whatever it is, and they all come together for Christmas. Kevin quits his job or says, screw it, I'm not working, decides, because he could have been taken out here, and decides that life is too short, and you should be spending time with the family. And that's the message of the movie. Now, it's going to be a dumb movie. I didn't say it's not going to be dumb. It's going to be really stupid. But it could be a lot of fun if done correctly. And normally, I'm not super big on like bringing back old originals or remaking them or bringing back. But I think if there's room for a sequel, and it's been long and it's beloved and fans are calling for it, and if you do it correctly, where it's it's just a fun time revisiting that world and not a big fuck you and give me your money. I think that Hollywood should be allowed to do it, and I would love to watch a Home Alone 3, a good Home Alone 3, it probably won't be good, but a Home Alone 3 with the original cast, I would go watch it. Anyways, that's what I would do for Home Alone 3. Hopefully you enjoyed my little writing session, and if not, that's fine. I came up with it in, I would say, 30 minutes, so whatever you want to do. Anyways, hope you guys all have a lovely Merry Christmas. Make sure you subscribe. We're looking at setting up a potential Patreon, so we'll see how that turns out, because we just love making these videos. I love making these videos, and we love making the podcast, and we would love to be able to do this for a long time. So hopefully everybody has a Merry Christmas, and peace, love, and adios.